Hey everyone, welcome to The Explainer. Let's just dive right into this because today we are exploring a really fascinating intersection of construction and chemistry. It turns out that cutting-edge nanotechnology is actively transforming one of our most vulnerable building materials, fresh concrete, into an almost indestructible, sustainable surface. So buckle up because we're going to demystify the JAS Total Floor System together. Think about this for a second. How does a massive, towering skyscraper get brought down by a tiny, barely visible crack? It sounds totally counterintuitive, right? But the truth is, poor mix design or inadequate curing at the very beginning plants the seeds for massive, super expensive structural failures later on. A floor might look completely solid when it's freshly poured, but on a microscopic level, a battle is already being lost. The second wet concrete hits the ground, it's basically under attack by a gauntlet of compounding threats. Rapid moisture loss leads directly to drying shrinkage, and as it shrinks, it cracks. Those cracks are basically open doors for water intrusion, which leads to rebar corrosion, literally tearing the structure apart from the inside out. It's a constant uphill race against time and the elements. So, here is our blueprint for invincibility today. We'll quickly cover the hidden concrete crisis, then go through the three main steps: spray, grind, and seal. And finally, we'll look at the future of floors. All right, step 1, spray, featuring ShrinkLock. This is our very first line of defense. Now, this is where the science gets super cool. Look at the sheer brilliance of this dual lock mechanism. You don't have to alter the concrete mix itself. You literally just spray this ShrinkLock right on top, just 3 to 4 hours after the pour. The internal lock acts like a microscopic sponge, trapping critical moisture inside the pores so it doesn't evaporate too fast. At the exact same time, the silica lock triggers a secondary reaction. It forms a CSH gel, that's calcium silicate hydrate, which physically fills up the microscopic capillaries. It locks the moisture in and builds a nano network to strengthen the whole structure. Check out these numbers, because the contrast is wild. Normal, untreated concrete experiences a volume shrinkage of negative 0.32% as it dries, and that's exactly what tears it apart. But when it's treated with ShrinkLock, that negative shrinkage is completely halted. It actually induces a stabilizing microexpansion of plus 0.01%. It literally locks its own dimensions into place. So what's the real-world impact of that? 50%. By stopping those tiny cracks at the absolute source and blocking water intrusion before it even starts, future maintenance and repair costs drop by half, 50%. And while it's doing that, the formation of that CSH gel we talked about actually boosts the 28-day compressive strength by 12%. Just a massive win-win. Moving right along to step 2, grind, using the JS-100 densifier. Time to transform that stabilized surface. Let's zoom in on the chemistry again, because this is where the magic really happens. We spray the floor with JAS-100, which is a water-based nano-liquid aluminum densifier. It penetrates incredibly deep, hunting down free lime, calcium hydroxide. When they meet, they react and grow these massive, super strong CAH crystals deep inside the concrete matrix. It's densifying the floor from the inside out, turning what used to be a porous sponge into a solid block. If you're a contractor out there on the job site, you know time is literally money. Old school, traditional silicate densifiers, you're sitting around for an agonizing 8 hours before you can even fire up the grinders. But this JAS-100 formula reacts so efficiently, you're cleared for grinding in a lightning-fast 30 minutes to 2 hours. It's an absolute game-changer for saving critical project time. Let's rapid-fire some of these stats, because the floor is basically leveling up its armor here. We're looking at a Mohs hardness jump of 3 full levels. Abrasion resistance up by more than 75%. It penetrates over 10 millimeters deep. Plus, it's totally non-toxic, VOC-free, and it completely prevents that annoying chalky efflorescence and surface dusting you always see on cheap warehouse floors. And finally, step 3, seal, applying the JAS-LGC coating. This is the ultimate ultra-thin defense layer. Okay, the tech behind this final sealer is kind of mind-blowing. It relies on polysilicon sol-gel nanotechnology. Basically, at room temperature, it forms an invisible film that's only 100 to 500 nanometers thick. To put that into perspective, a single strand of human hair is, about 80,000 to 100,000 nanometers wide. Yet, this unfathomably thin layer gives you heavy-duty, industrial-grade protection. Now, I absolutely love this part, the liquid wiper effect. Normally, traditional coatings make water bead up into little droplets, right? But those beads dry and leave those frustrating white stains.
This coating creates a 48.3-degree hydrophilic surface instead. The water instantly flattens out into a thin film, and as gravity pulls it, it acts exactly like a liquid windshield wiper, taking all the dirt and contaminants away with it. No watermarks left behind, none. And just look at how it handles everyday chemical threats. Remember, it's not suffocating the concrete. It breathes, but it acts like an absolute shield. 5% acid or alkali solutions? No problem, it effortlessly withstands them. UV rays trying to photooxidize and yellow the floor? Completely blocked. It even fights off everyday stains like cooking oil, coffee, and shoe polish. It even repels marker pens. Here's a really fun fact. This easy-to-clean Lotus effect isn't just reserved for our concrete hero here. The nanotechnology has universal compatibility. It bonds chemically with the substrate, which means it perfectly seals and protects glass, metal components, wood, textiles, and even high-end stone flooring. It really is a one-size-fits-all invisible armor.
Bringing it all together, the future of floors. So let's do a quick recap of this unbreakable blueprint, because this exact 3-step process guarantees durability from the very moment the concrete is born. Step 1. Spray with ShrinkLock right after the initial set to stop the cracks. Step 2. Grind using FD100 to grow those CAH crystals and harden the matrix. And Step 3. Seal the polished surface with LGC to repel water, stains, and chemical attacks.
So why should we care about all this? Well, it's summed up perfectly right here. Durability is just the beginning. Sustainability is the future. We all know concrete is notoriously carbon-heavy, right? But if we stop the floors from cracking in the first place, we don't have to constantly tear them up, dispose of them, and pour new ones. We are drastically lowering carbon emissions over the life cycle of the building. We're literally engineering a greener world just by getting it right the first time.
I'll leave you with this provocative thought. Are you ready to reconsider the ground you literally walk on every day? Next time you're stepping across a flawless, shining concrete floor in a massive warehouse or a grand hotel lobby, take a closer look down. You might just be marveling at cutting-edge nanotechnology hard at work, right under your feet. Thanks for hanging out with me on this explainer. Keep learning, and I'll catch you next time.